This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. As everybody probably knows, the state of North Carolina has been a Republican state for many years now. Now, I'm not saying it's an R+20 state or whatever, but relatively speaking, it might be close at the presidential level, but every year, Republicans win it by a couple of points, whether it's by 2, 3, 4, somewhere in that range, basically every single year for about 20 years now. I know Democrats, they keep saying, well, this will finally be the year that we finally flip North Carolina once again. And the last time they did so was back in 2008, when Obama won the popular vote by 7, he won in a landslide, and even then, he barely won North Carolina. It was a massive fluke. But ever since then, Democrats keep repeating the idea that, well, this time, North Carolina will finally flip. And they think that 2026 is their best chance because they do have a very strong candidate running in Roy Cooper. And he is a very strong candidate. Let's be clear about that. In 2016, he won for the governorship. In 2020, he won by even more. So he is somebody that has a long track record of winning in North Carolina. Even before that, he was the attorney general for a long time. So yeah, he is a strong candidate. Now, I think he's very overrated. Some people make it sound like, oh, he's the greatest candidate ever. He's going to win by 30 points. No, because some of the candidates he went against, especially in the last couple of years, they've been very shitty ones. 2016, he beat a very unpopular governor by like 0.1% or whatever. It was very close. And in 2020, he actually outran or underperformed all expectations. Yeah, he outran Biden, but he was expected to win by like 20 points, 15 points, and he won by like 4 or 5. So he is a strong candidate, not as strong as some people think he is. And the polling right now indicates it looks like it's going to be a very close race. But I do think the tides are turning against Democrats in North Carolina for a bunch of reasons. And for starters, voter registration, yet again, looks bad. I know I made a bunch of videos on this, but it's such a bad trend for Democrats, you can't really ignore it. I know some Democrats are now saying, oh, the voter registration numbers are actually good news for Dems because independents. Yeah, sure, that's their copium. But either way, Democrats in North Carolina are crashing in voter registration. Look at this. Right now, Republicans lead in voter registration by 95,000 voters. And in 2024, when Democrats lost North Carolina by 3, which was roughly, how many votes? Yeah, 183,000 votes. Right now, back then it was 105,000 more Democrats than Republicans. Meaning in like under a year, the voter registration shift in North Carolina has shifted 200,000 votes towards the GOP. Now, I should be clear, just like every time I mention voter registration, it can be misleading. It's not a perfect metric, but what is important is the trends. And if the trends are looking this bad for Democrats every single update, that's not good for them. It's been like 20 straight weeks since Democrats won a week in voter registration. It's pathetic. And just last month, they got killed. They lost 4,400 voters. Republicans only lost 600. It is getting worse every single month. And a quick reminder that voter registration, it was a big trend towards the GOP in 2024. And look what happened. Again, it's not a perfect metric, but it is a good indicator as to how things are looking. And you would think with Trump supposedly being so unpopular, Democrats would at least rebound a tiny bit. You know, not that they have to win every update, but at least try to break even. Because voter registration has gotten so bad for them, just try to break even. But they can't even do that. And on top of that, it looks like the state of North Carolina will be forced to remove nearly 100,000 voters from the voter rolls. And there's a good chance a lot of these voters are Democrats. These are voters that are Democrat-leaning voters. We don't know for sure, but it sounds like over 100,000 of them, they're going to be kicked off their voter rolls. So yeah, already, 2026 is actually looking pretty good for Michael Whatley. But let's be honest here. I don't think anyone really cares about the voter registration metrics right now because there was a tragedy in Charlotte, North Carolina a couple weeks ago. We first heard about this like 5 days ago, I think it was, or a couple days ago at this point. And it was a tragedy that happened in late August, and for those that live under a rock, it was bad. And a little bit of context, there was a Ukrainian refugee. I think she left Ukraine like 5 years ago or whatever. But the point is, she was on a bus, I believe, or a train, just sitting there. It doesn't matter if it's a bus or train, I don't know for sure, but either way, she was just sitting there, got done with work, doing nothing. The full video, which anybody can watch, I can't show it for obvious reasons, she's just sitting there. She's just on her phone, not disturbing anybody, just chilling out, not saying a word. And this lunatic behind her, sitting behind her, out of nowhere, jumps her and stabs her like 10 times. And she sadly died. And this story has taken the world by storm because it was so egregious what happened here. Again, I can't show the video for obvious reasons. It's horrific what happened. I mean, just look at this picture. She's in complete horror as to what's happening. She doesn't even understand. She got stabbed. And this story blew up. Because I don't care if she was supposedly pro-BLM, which apparently that's fake news. It doesn't matter if she was in the first place. She is an innocent woman just sitting there, not disturbing anybody, minding her own business, and she got stabbed 13 times or whatever. This happened in Charlotte, and it's going to be a pretty big issue. Now, obviously, the election isn't until next year, but I highly doubt that this story is going to go away, because the imagery is it's already infamous. It's like, wait, what? This lunatic who, by the way, he's been arrested like 14 times, and he's been thrown in jail a bunch of times, but he's been let out a bunch of times. It's a mess. He should have never even been on that ride. He should have been in jail behind bars. But yet again, a very corrupt judge let him go free for no reason. It's utter insanity that we are still dealing with this crap. I mean, look at this. This is insane. This is utter insanity that this happens every single day. And it's pissed off a lot of people. And the Trump admin, they're taking this seriously. There's already feds on the ground in Charlotte trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. This is happening across America. But now Charlotte, it's really become the epicenter of this mess. In fact, it sounds like the Trump admin, the DOJ at least, they're trying to give this scumbag either life in prison or the death penalty. Good. It's about time we stop this horse shit from happening. This guy was supposed to be in prison a long time ago. He's been arrested 14 times, and not just for some petty crime or whatever. He's like beating up his sister. He was like robbing people. It's horrific. And even his own mother said the court should have threw him in jail. He should have never been on the streets whatsoever, and she can't do anything about it because the courts refuse to act upon it. It is utter insanity that this is happening. And take a guess how Democrats are responding. You have either Roy Cooper, the strong candidate, say nothing about this. I mean, this is his latest tweet. His latest tweet is a shitty fundraising tweet, okay? And he has said nothing about this. As of now, could that change? Maybe when I post this video, he finally posts some kind of update or whatever. But you have Democrats either saying that, either ignoring it, or there's some saying, oh, this is, valid, and, he did nothing wrong, he's mentally ill. You can't make this up. Yet again, Democrats are either ignoring a top issue for a lot of people. A lot of people are furious right now. They're mad. They're like, what the hell's going on here? They're either ignoring it, or they're just saying, no, it's not a big issue. No, it's not the biggest issue in the world. They're downplaying it. Like, oh, that's normal. Is this really normal? It's yet another 80-20 issue that these morons, not even their strong, electable candidate in Roy Cooper, can run on. He's not saying anything. He has not even said, yeah, the guy deserves life in prison. From what I can tell, he has said nothing. What is going on here? And people have had enough. This is insane. What are we doing here? And this is the direct consequences of Democrat policies. That's why this is a big deal. It's not that, oh, the Republicans control the city. No. In fact, we have proof of Democrat organizations, Democrat NGOs, like the MacArthur Foundation. They went to Mecklenburg, okay, and they gave them $3 million to quote-unquote reduce the jail population because racism. They they actually directly funded this guy's release. So it's not just, one shitty politician. You have organizations spending tens of millions of dollars who have direct connections to the Democrat Party pushing this. The very county that released that lunatic who should have never been on the streets, and she should still be alive right now. What are we doing? The Trump White House, thankfully, they caught on to the story because it just dropped like 2 or 3 days ago. It dropped like two days ago. There were reports about it like 2 weeks ago, but nobody really cared because we did not have the video. But now it's like, oh, this is insane. This has to stop. This has happened to too many people, and now Charlotte is the epicenter of this. This is a big deal, and I know it's a year out from the election, but if it comes out that Roy Cooper or even Josh Stein let this lunatic run free because of shitty policies, that's going to hurt them big time next year. That's going to piss a lot of people off. Like, wait, huh? The supposedly moderate Democrat let this lunatic run free and has not said a word about it? Just ignoring it? All he has to say is he deserves life in prison. But the longer he waits, the worse it gets, because the more we hear about this case, it's clear Democrat policies caused her to die. She's dead. Ukrainian refugees, the party that supposedly supports Ukraine, they love Ukrainians, they have not said a damn word about the Ukrainian refugee who got stabbed in Charlotte. For no reason. Just, she wasn't causing a problem, nothing. She just got done with work, was sitting down, going home, and got stabbed. This is a huge deal. And it sounds like Republicans, they're going to try to make this a second Laken Riley. Like, this is insane. This has to stop. And I know people are going to say, oh, you shouldn't politicize it. Which I agree with. Like, listen, it's horrible we have to even talk about this. But this has happened to too many people for far too long. It has to stop. These Democrat policies are getting even crazier by the day. They're just pretending. Nothing happened in Charlotte. It's a scam. And the mainstream media, they're blaming MAGA Republicans for this. It's unbelievable. The party that wanted body cams of the cops, now they're blaming MAGA Republicans for having a camera in that train or whatever. What are we doing? Why are they acting like this? This party isn't normal. Normal people would understand this is batshit crazy. This has to stop. But you notice they're not saying anything about it, or they're blaming the MAGA Republicans for, having this video. They're mad about the video being released than the actual crime. Now, will this be the #1 issue for next year in North Carolina? Maybe not. Maybe crime isn't. But at the same time, this is going to hurt Democrats big time. Especially with the more we learn about this case, the more insane it becomes, where it's Democrat groups funding these organizations to get these people out of jail for no reason because of racism. It's crazy. The more we hear about this case, the worse it gets for Roy Cooper. And I really believe if this spirals out of control where it turns out that he was involved and he let him off the hook or whatever, or he was the governor and he did nothing about it, which I'm not saying it was or whatever, but if that's what happened here, he's screwed. How do you come back from this? This is already such a massive story. If it comes out that there was a big cover-up or they knew about people like this, they did nothing, Roy Cooper's chances of winning are already going down, in my opinion. I don't think this helps Democrats at all. In fact, it hurts them big time, obviously. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.